Listen to me, Dodger Weems, right? Goals, a vision for your life. You talk about success, you post about it, you daydream about it, but here's the question. Have you put the work in? Because let me be real with you. Talent doesn't win if talent doesn't work. Ambition is empty without execution. And wishing for it will never be the same as working for it. Everybody wants to be great until it's time to do what greatness requires. Everybody wants to be successful. Everybody has a dream, a vision, an idea of what their life could look like. They talk about it, post about it, write it in journals, speak it into affirmation, and that's all fine. Speaking into existence is a start. But here's the truth. It means absolutely nothing if you don't follow it up with execution. The world doesn't reward potential, it rewards performance. It doesn't hand out trophies for what you said you were going to do. It gives recognition, results, and reward to the people who actually did the work, that execution over excuses. Every single time the excuses are comfortable, they're easy. They let you sleep in instead of getting up early. They let you stay on your phone instead of studying, training, building. Excuses whisper, you deserve a break. When your goals are screaming, we're not there yet. You can convince yourself that you're waiting for the right time, or that you're not ready, or that life isn't fair. And some of those things might even be true, but none of them will move you forward. Execution will. Only execution turns ideas into income, dreams into results, and potential into progress. There's a big difference between wanting it and working for it. Everyone wants it. That's not special. That's not rare. What's rare is waking up at 5 a.m. when you don't feel like it. What's rare is staying up late grinding when everybody else is relaxing. What's rare is doing it every single day without seeing the results right away and still doing it because you know what's coming if you keep going. Wanting it is cheap. Working for it is priceless. Just excuses are the stories we tell ourselves to stay where we are. I'm too tired. Well, I don't have the resources. He wasn't born into the right family. I don't have time. But someone with less than you, someone in worse conditions, is already doing what you say you can't do. And they're not making excuses. They're making progress. They're showing up with less and doing more. So what's really stopping you? It's not your lack of time. It's not your background. It's not your background. It's your mindset. It's the fact that you become more committed to your excuses than you are to your own growth. That execution requires responsibility. It forces you to look at your life and admit that if you want change, you have to change. Not your boss, not your parents, not your environment, you. That's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people because it's easier to blame than it is to build. It's easier to point finger than it is to put your head down and grind. But the moment you realize that your life is in your hand, everything shifts. You stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You stop wishing, hoping, and dreaming. And you start doing. And when you start doing, you start becoming. That execution demands focus. When you're really about that life, you cut off distraction. You stop trying to please everybody. You stop jumping from one idea to the next. You pick a lane and go deep. You go all in. It's not sexy. It's not always fun. It doesn't look good on social media when you're in the trenches, grinding while everyone else is out partying. But that's what execution looks like. Quiet, consistent, disciplined action, day in, day out, even when you don't feel like it, especially then. And here's the thing, nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody's gonna chase you down and beg you to become great. Nobody's gonna force you to get up and make your life what it could be. It's on you. You can either keep making excuses and stay exactly where you are, or you can get serious about your vision and execute. The people who win, they're not the smartest. They're not the most talented. They're the ones talented. They're the ones who showed up, period. The ones who didn't wait to feel inspired. The ones who didn't quit when it got hard. The ones who didn't care if the world clapped or noticed. They just kept executing. Consistency beats talent when talent doesn't execute. Your dream doesn't care how gifted you are. It doesn't care how many people believe in you. It only responds to effort, to action, to discipline, to commitment. You can have the best ideas in the world, but if they stay in your head, they're worthless. You could have all the motivation in the world, but if it's not backed by movement, it dies. Dreams starve without execution. Plans collapse without follow through. Belief without action is just hype without execution. There's a difference between potential and power, between a maybe someday and I made it happen. It's the line that separates the talkers from the doers. Time is the one resource we all get equally. It doesn't matter where you were born, what family you come from, what struggles you face. Every single person on this planet gets 24 hours in a day. That's 1440 minutes. That's 86,400 seconds. It's the great equalizer. The difference between the people who win and the people who stay stuck is not time. It's how they choose to use it. People love to say, I don't have time. But what they really mean is, it's not a priority. Because the truth is, we all make time for what matters to us. If you're scrolling on social media for hours a day, binge watching shows, going out every weekend, but claiming you don't have time to chase your goals, what you're really saying is that your goals don't matter as much as your distractions. That's a hard truth, but it's the truth. People who value their time don't waste it. They don't give it away to things that don't push them forward. They treat time like the most valuable currency in the world. Because it is like you can get money back. You can get opportunities back. You can even rebuild relationships. But time, once it's gone, it's gone. Every minute you waste is a minute you'll never get again. You don't have time to waste waiting for the right moment. You don't have time to keep putting off your goals for a someday. Someday is not a real day. It doesn't exist. You've only got today. You've only got now. And if you don't start using your time with urgency, with purpose, you're going to wake up one day and realize the clock ran out. And you never even got started. Winners treat every day like an opportunity. They don't wait until Monday. They don't need a new year, a new month, or a motivational quote to take action. They understand that time is precious, and they refuse to waste it. They schedule their days. They create routines. They cut out distractions. They say no to things that don't serve their mission because they know every yes to something meaningless is a no to their dreams. They don't have more time than you. They just use theirs better. That time doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're tired, if you're going through something, or if you had a long day. Keeps ticking. It keeps moving. And if you don't move with it, it will leave you behind. That's why you have to be intentional. You have to plan your time like your life depends on it, because it does. If you don't control your time, something else will. Your phone will. Your job will. Other people's expectations will. You have to reclaim your time and make it work for you, not against you. Success is not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things with the time you have. You don't need to be busy. You need to be productive. There's a difference. Some people are running around all day doing a million things, but not getting anywhere. Others are focused, locked in, laser sharp on their goals, and they make more progress in an hour than some people do in a week. Why? Because they respect their time. They protect it. They invest it into the things that matter, not look at how you spend your day. Really look at it. Where does your time go? Who gets the best of your energy? What habits are stealing your time and giving you nothing in return? Be honest. Because if you can't manage your time, you can't manage your life. Your time is your life. How you spend your hours is how you spend your existence. That's why it's so important to be intentional, to set goals, to block out time for them, and to hold yourself accountable. The grind isn't just about working hard. It's about working smart with the time you have. It's about being relentless with your minutes, It's about understanding that time is your teammate when you use it wisely, and your enemy when you waste it. The most successful people aren't perfect. They're not superhuman. They just don't play with their time. They don't take it for granted. They squeeze every drop out of every hour, every day, because they know that every day is a chance to get better, to get closer, to grow. You don't need more time. You need more focus. You need more discipline. You need to stop negotiating with yourself and start committing to the process. Wake up earlier. Stay off your phone. Say no to things that don't matter. Use your breaks wisely. Turn off the distractions. Tune into your purpose. Because every second counts. Every decision matters. You are either building your future or delaying it, depending on how you spend your time. Talent is a gift, but it's not enough. Talent might get you noticed, but it's discipline that keeps you there. Discipline is what turns potential into power. It's what separates the people who start from the people who finish. You can have all the natural ability in the world, but if you don't have the discipline to show up every day, to do the work consistently, to keep pushing when it's uncomfortable, that talent will rot. It will fade. Because talent without discipline is like a sports car with no fuel. Impressive to look at, but going nowhere. People love to glorify talent. They look at someone successful and say, oh, they're just naturally gifted. But they don't see the hours, the sweat, the sacrifices behind the scenes. They don't see the mornings that started before sunrise, the nights they didn't have to after everyone else was asleep. They don't see the repetition, the routine, the grind that never makes it to social media. Talent might open the door, but discipline is what walks you through it. Talent is the spark, but discipline is the firewood that keeps the flame alive. Discipline means doing it when you don't feel like it. It means staying on the path when there's no applause, no recognition, no instant reward. Talent feels good. Discipline doesn't always feel good. Discipline says no to temporary pleasure in exchange for long-term purpose. It's saying no to sleeping in so you can hit the gym. It's saying no to distractions so you can study, practice, improve. It's sticking to the plan, not just when you're inspired, but especially when you're tired. Because that's the test. That's what builds character. That's what turns average people into high performers. Not how good they are, but how consistent they are. You don't rise to the level of your talent. You fall to the level of your discipline. When pressure hits, when life gets heavy, when challenges come, and they always do, it's not talent that saves you. It's your habits, the structure you built. It's the mental toughness you trained through discipline. Talent can give you a head start, but if you don't have the discipline to keep going, you'll get past every time. There's always someone with less talent who's willing to work harder, stay focused longer, and push through more pain than you. But nothing grows there. Nothing changes there. If you want more out of life, pain comes with it, Doc. You don't get stronger by running from pain. You get stronger by running through it. Pain is not the end. It's the beginning. It's the test to see how bad you want it. Anybody can show up when it's easy. Anybody can grind when they're hyped, when everything's going their way. What about when it hurts? What about when you're tired, frustrated, and nothing's working? That's where champions are made. That's where the real growth happens. In the moments when most people quit, the ones who keep going are the ones who rise by pain. It strips away the excuses. It shows you what you're really made of. When everything feels good, you don't question anything. But when pain hits, you find out who you are. Do you fold or do you fight? Do you shut down or do you show up? Pain is the mirror. It doesn't lie. It reveals your grit, your heart, your hunger. And if you're willing to endure it, if you're willing to lean into it instead of running from it, pain can become your greatest asset. Because it makes you resilient. It makes you relentless. The people who win aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who didn't quit in the struggle. They didn't let pain become their prison. They used it as fuel. They turned it into power. They let it teach them discipline, consistency, focus. Pain taught them how to keep moving even when it hurt. That's why they're successful. Not because they were lucky, not because they were blessed with some magical gift, but because they walked through fire and came out forged. Pain also forces you to change. When you're too comfortable, you stop growing. Pain disrupts that comfort. It forces you to confront your weaknesses, your patterns, your mindset. It forces you to dig deeper, to shift your habits, to take action. You don't change when you're cozy. You change when you're challenged. When the pain gets loud enough, you stop tolerating things. You stop playing small. You start doing what needs to be done. You level up not because you wanted to, but because the pain demanded it. That people look for shortcuts. They want the results without the struggle. They want the rewards without the risk. But life doesn't work like that. You have to go through it to grow through it. The hard days, the losses, the failures, those aren't signs you're doing it wrong. They're signs you're doing it right. They're the weight you have to lift to build the strength you need. Without resistance, there's no growth. Without challenge, there's no change. Without pain, there's no power. That the difference between average and elite is not comfort. It's the relationship they have with pain. The average person avoids it. The elite person embraces it. They understand that pain is part of the price. It's not optional, it's required. They stop asking, how can I avoid this? And start asking, what can I learn from this? because they know that every ounce of pain is a step toward purpose. Every struggle is a chapter in the story. Every setback is setting them up for something greater. Responsibility is the moment you stop pointing fingers and start looking in the mirror. It's the moment you realize that nobody is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not your boss, not your circumstances. If you want your life to change, you have to change it. That's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people because it's easier to blame something or someone else. It's easier to say, I didn't get the opportunity. Oh, they did. But believe in me, a life isn't fair. And maybe all those things are true, but none of them are a reason to stay stuck. The people who move forward are the ones who take ownership over their decisions, their time, their energy, and their future. They understand that life isn't about what happens to you. It's about how you respond. You can't control the weather, but you can control how you prepare. You can't control what people say, but you can control how you show up. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything. It means owning your response, your attitude, your actions. It means refusing to be a victim in your own story that we all have a past. We've all been hurt, rejected, overlooked. But how long are you going to carry that? How long are you going to let what happened define what happens next? At some point, you have to decide that your future matters more than your past. You have to stop waiting for an apology, for validation, for someone to notice. You have to stand up and say, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm taking control. Because every day you wait for someone else to fix it, you're giving away your power. Power doesn't come from your circumstances. It comes from your choices. You could have grown up with nothing and still choose to build everything. You could have been counted out, underestimated, doubted by everyone, and still choose to believe in yourself. Responsibility is that choice. It's saying, I might not have started this race with advantage, but I'm still running it. And I'm not stopping until I finish strong. That mindset is what separates the winners from the wishers. The winners don't waste time complaining. They don't need perfect conditions. They just take the next step that you have to stop outsourcing your future to other people. Stop waiting for support that may never come. Stop expecting others to understand your vision when it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. That means it's your job to protect it, to pursue it, to build it brick by brick. No one owes you success. No one owes you a second chance. No one owes you recognition. You have to earn it. You have to show up when it's hard. You have to grind when it's lonely. You have to believe when nobody else does. Responsibility also means accountability. You have to be real with yourself. You have to stop sugarcoating your habits and start calling yourself out. If you're not where you want to be, ask yourself why. Not in a way that tears you down, but in a way that builds you up. Be honest about your discipline, your consistency, your priorities. Because once you own the problem, you can own the solution. You can't fix what you won't face. You can't grow from what you keep avoiding. Growth starts with truth, and truth starts with responsibility. It's easy to compare your life to others, to look at their success and feel like you're behind. What you don't see is their journey, their grind, their battles. You don't know what it cost them, and you don't need to. Your only competition is the version of you from yesterday. You are your own responsibility, your mindset, your habits, your results. They're all within your control. Even if it's slow progress, it's still your progress. And the more you take ownership, the more power you gain. Not over others, but over yourself. When you take responsibility, you take your life back. You stop waiting for conditions to change and start creating the conditions yourself. You stop reacting to life and start responding with intention. You stop blaming the past and start blaming the past and start building the future. That's how freedom is found. Not by avoiding the truth, but by owning. Not by escaping the weight, but by learning to carry it with strength. When you understand that your life is yours to shape, your choices start to matter more. Your time becomes more valuable. Your energy becomes more focused because you know it's all on you now. And that's a powerful place to be when you want something, really want it. You don't just speak it, you chase it, you live it, you breathe it. You wake up thinking about it and you go to bed still grinding toward it in your mind. Oh, that kind of hunger, that kind of obsession doesn't leave room for excuses. It doesn't entertain distraction. It doesn't ask for permission or wait for the perfect moment. It moves, it acts, it fights. Wanting it bad enough means you're willing to sacrifice for it, bleed for it, and keep showing up for it no matter how many times you fall down. Not most people say they want to be successful, but their actions say something else. They say they want to get better, but they're not willing to wake up early, stay up late, cut out the distractions, and push past the pain. Wanting it bad enough means doing what others won't. It means choosing growth over comfort. It means being so focused on your vision that nothing can shake you. Not fear, not fear, not fatigue. When you really want it, you stop negotiating with the grind. You stop trying to find shortcuts. You stop looking for the easy way out and start looking for every opportunity to level up. There will always be reasons not to. Life will always hand you a list of excuses, setbacks, delays, and doubts. But people who want it bad enough don't need ideal conditions. They don't need everything to be perfect. They get to work anyway. Rain or shine, good day or bad day, they show up. Because the goal matters more than the mood. They understand that desire is not enough. Discipline is required. Firing your heart is a start, but fire alone won't build anything. You need to pair it with action. Relentless, consistent, unapologetic action. You can't just want the outcome. You've got to want the process. You've got to fall in love with the work, the grind, the setbacks, the late nights, the early mornings, because that's where the magic happens. That's where champions are made. Not on the podium, but in the shadows. Not in the spotlight, but in the silence of hard work. If you want it bad enough, you won't wait for motivation. You'll create your own momentum. You'll train when no one's watching. You'll practice when no one's clapping. Because you know what you're chasing, and you know why you're chasing, and you know why it matters. People will doubt you. They'll tell you to be realistic, to play it safe, to take it easy. But if you want it bad enough, their voices won't drown out your vision. You don't need approval to grind. You don't need applause to hustle. You just need that fire in your gut that says, I'm not stopping until I get there. And even when you fall short, you won't fold. You won't break. You'll learn, adjust, and come back harder. Because when you want it bad enough, failure isn't final. It's fuel that will separate you. It will put you in rooms others won't enter, keep you focused when others fall off, and drive you through pain most people avoid. It will keep you pushing when everything in you says quit. It will silence the voice that says, you've done enough, and replace it with, you've got more. Because you know you're not just chasing a dream, you're chasing who you're becoming. And that version of you is worth the work. That version of you is waiting on the other side of hard. There's no secret formula, no magic button. It's just raw effort, grit, heart, sweat, sacrifice. The people who make it don't always have the most talent, the best circumstances, or the smoothest path, but they have the most heart. They have the most they have the most hunger. They don't stop. They don't wait. They don't wish. They grind. They show up. They fight day after day, hour after hour. And that's why they win, Dyke. If you want to change your life, you've got to get obsessed with your goal. It's got to become non-negotiable. You have to stop hoping and stop believing. Stop talking and start moving. Stop dreaming and stop dreaming. Wanting it bad enough means you'll do whatever it takes. Not once, not sometime, but every single day. When the fire is real, the work becomes part of who you are. It's not a chore. It's your character. It's your code. And once you reach that level, there's not a storm that can stop you. Not a wall you can't break through. Because when you want it bad enough, nothing is stronger than your will to win. So now the question is simple. How bad do you want it? Because talk is cheap. Desire is common. But discipline, consistency, grit, that's rare. That's what separates dreamers from doers. You got the vision. Now match it with the action. Match it with the sacrifice. Match it with the heart. Stop waiting. Stop wishing. Get to work. Your future isn't waiting for permission. It's waiting for you to show up and claim it.